it erodes trust. You lose trust when it comes to your team.
What is the biggest mistake you've made in your career, and what was the necessary lesson you took away from it? Whether at Tesla or previous role, can be multiple things.
Yeah, there's like a thousand. I'll give you. It's kind of all connected to the same thing. So the biggest mistake that I've made is I was very bad at asking for help,
Okay.
and especially earlier on, because I thought that asking for help was somehow um, me telling others that I'm stupid and
Mm.
that I can't do it myself. And the one thing that I found is that that's actually very common, and a lot of people feel that way because they're afraid to ask for help because they're like, well, they hired me to this position, right? And so they're expecting me to have this all figured out. Like they expect me to know everything, and that's why I'm in this position. But in reality, a workplace is a conglomeration of people. There's a bunch of people brought together to try and solve problems. And so some of the decisions that I made, especially earlier on at Philips, I could have done a lot better job of looping other people in and asking them for help. It's like, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable about what you don't know, especially as a leader. That's one thing that I learned is you have to ask for help, especially if you're not sure. Even if you're sure, you have to involve people. And that's the kind of like the second lesson that I learned is that even if you know the right answer, even if you're 100% confident something's going to happen, if you still put it through and you don't get the buy-in from your team, it's going to be met by a lot of resentment. It's going to be met by a lot of like, what the hell? How come you didn't check with us to make sure this thing worked? You know, even if it's a positive change for the company, if people are blindsided by it, it erodes trust. You lose trust when it comes to your team. So like, and those two things are kind of conjoined. It's like, just you have to involve the people around you, either for learning things or helping yourself, or to give them a heads up that says, hey, this is going on, and I still want to get your feedback and help to make sure it happens, even if you're 100% confident it's going to work. You have to involve your team and you have to involve your coworkers. Those are the two that really stand out to me, and I think are very foundational to getting stuff done. Very, very important to get stuff done. And it builds trust. Ultimately, if you ask for someone's opinion or help, they're gonna feel valued because they're like,
Mm.
wow, this person's coming to me for help. They're asking me for my opinion. That's great. Like, I love that, Yeah. And on the flip side, if you go out and say, hey, we're gonna do this, tell me what's wrong about it. Again, it builds trust because you're like, it's a valued opinion. Is, hey, he's looking to do something important for the company and he wants us to help him make sure it's good. These two things are amazing for trust. And especially if the thing ends up being great and it does work, that builds even more a stronger team because they're like, wow, I trust my leader. Not only was he right about it, but he also asked me to make sure
Mm.
that it was good and he wanted my opinion. It's great. It's a win-win situation when you do that. So
I think that's a wonderful answer, and it's something I think every business owner has probably reflected on it and been aware of it, but it's something that I think every business owner needs drilled in on them on a regular basis to remind them, ask for help, and allow your
yes.
team to feel validated and to build that together, and don't see it as being something you've always got to be the final say on. Um, on one of your videos, you talked about Tesla going into making everything, and I completely agree there. And I can see a future where Tesla literally just makes everything. They've completed manufacturing. So on
Sure.
that, is there anything that would encourage you or incline you to want to rejoin Tesla, or are you done?